This is the Democrat Party. According to recent polling, including from the Wall Street Journal, Democrats have the lowest rating from voters in decades. This is a political party that's not only in shambles, but also in extreme denial. Here's Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison at the DNC summer session.
And friends, do not let anybody say, why doesn't somebody do something? Nobody's doing anything. Who's heard someone say something like that? This is not true. And I need you to have a list to tick it off. Wait a minute. Have we already forgotten Cory Booker being on the Senate floor, setting records, filibustering?
No, we remember. Cory Booker's 25-hour speech on the Senate floor, where he protested against the Trump administration and DOGE cuts, accomplished absolutely nothing, other than scoring him a book deal. A book which no one will read, by the way.
Have we already forgot the massive numbers of people who showed up on No King's Day? The massive numbers of people. And the Democratic Party was right there with everybody else leading the way.
There's a protest against Trump every weekend. But wow, impressive list.
Have we forgotten about our Texas Dems standing up so bold, so brave, so powerful?
Oh, you mean the more than 50 Democrat Texas House members who fled the state in a failed attempt to block a new congressional map? So brave, so powerful.
And even us Democratic AGs have sued this dude 44 times, and we'll sue him 44 more and 44 more after that.
Democrat AGs may have sued the Trump administration dozens of times, but they've lost the majority of those lawsuits. But you're doing God's work, Keith.
And we have sued them for gender-affirming care. Yes, we are not going to scapegoat our transgender community.
And they wonder why they're so unpopular. But other than touting their accomplishments, the DNC summer session was largely the same old, same old.
In just 7 months, Donald Trump has dragged our country into chaos. Donald Trump, Donald Trump.
And we have a message to Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
But we know Trump isn't stopping there. Look, here's the deal. I've said this before, folks. Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump.
Trump administration.
Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Trump.
Trump, not Donald Trump, Donald Trump.
So lately, the Democrats exist entirely for two things. A, to resist every single policy set by the current administration, and B, to call Trump an authoritarian dictator.
This is authoritarianism. It's fascism dressed in a red tie.
We are seeing the rise, if not the rise of authoritarianism, we are seeing the classic playbook, a page out of the playbook of authoritarianism.
You have someone who is determined to behave as well as lead like a dictator, and his authoritarianism is something that is threatening our democracy. And then, of course, the president has made it very clear. He said that this will be the last election.
You probably don't remember Trump proclaiming that the next election was going to be the last election, because Brandon Johnson, the most popular mayor in Chicago's history, is a liar.
Look, I can tell you this. I built a Holocaust museum. I know what the history was of a constitutional republic being overturned after an election in 53 days. And I can tell you that the playbook is the same. It's thwart the media. It's create mayhem that requires military interdiction. These are things that happen throughout history, and Donald Trump is just following that playbook.
Yeah, Trump is Hitler, blah, blah, blah. They've been screaming about the end of democracy for the better part of a decade, most famously by resident Joe Biden.
We must be stronger, more determined, and more committed to saving American democracy than MAGA Republicans are to destroying American democracy. Threat to American democracy is real. American democracy only works in a democracy.
I love democracy.
Democracy.
Under what pretense you want to arrest the governor, Mr. President? Well, he was elected.
What?
This is not bloviation. This is not exaggeration. It's happening. You don't get a do-over. 249 years. Those enduring values, best of Roman Republic, Greek democracy, co-equal branches of government, popular sovereignty. The rule of law is being replaced with the rule of done. Period. Full stop.
Yep, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Next, Governor J.B. Pritzker was asked about President Trump potentially federalizing the National Guard in Chicago.
Deploying in Washington where he has federal control is one thing. But if he sends military forces into a major American city in a state that didn't ask for it, beyond Los Angeles, what do Americans make of that?
Well, they should understand that he has other aims other than fighting crime. That's the first thing they should understand. The second is it's an attack on the American people by the President of the United States.
So according to Governor Meatball, surging law enforcement to the murder capital of the United States to help deter criminals from committing crimes is an attack on the American people. Got it.
The other aims are that he'd like to stop the elections in 2026 or, frankly, take control of those elections. He'll just claim that there's some problem with an election, and then he's got troops on the ground that can take control, if in fact he's allowed to do this.
Democrats cannot admit that the National Guard being deployed to large cities could make people feel safer. And it's a problem. According to a recent AP NORC poll, 99% of respondents feel that crime is a problem in large cities and in the United States in general.
It can never be normal that we would walk down the streets. I have a 9-year-old, and it's not normal for my 9-year-old to go to school and to see a tank or an armed guard walking down the street.
So the lieutenant governor of Illinois is demonizing National Guard troops as some kind of violent threat. And then she claims that there's going to be tanks rolling down the street. Give me a break.
It's not normal for our business owners to try to attract business to their restaurants, their cafes, their small businesses, and know that they're going to be guards walking up and down the street, potentially armed in full uniforms.
1 week earlier.
The most recent crime spree comes as crash and grab thieves hit 2 other Foot Locker stores in Chicago, one in the West Englewood neighborhood and the other in Humboldt Park.
The whole neighborhood is just sick of people coming into the neighborhood and acting like they can just come ravage your stores, take what they want to take, and then they try to make you feel like you're wrong for defending your property.
Gee, you think that business owner is more concerned with non-existent tanks rolling down the street or criminals destroying his business? I'm guessing the latter.
I mean, come on.
Let me ask you about a couple of your...
Wake up, everybody. Wake up.
Let me ask you about a couple...
Excuse me, and I know it's impolite. We have to be more calm and demure.
Couple of your own...
But I'm not calm, and I'm not going to submit myself to niceties. Not when this guy's trying to wreck our goddamn country.
Says the man in charge of wrecking California.
I don't think Donald Trump wants another election. I have 24 Trump 2028 hats. His folks keep sending me.
And you think he's going to run again?
Don't give me. Who spends $200 million on a ballroom at their home and then leaves the house? This is serious, guys. This is serious.
Look, it's simple. President Trump is spending $200 million on a ballroom at the White House because, like the Lincoln bedroom before it, everyone will be forced to call it the Trump ballroom.
You've seen it. He's tried to steal the last election. He's trying to rig it in plain sight this time. He wants to get rid of vote by mail. I'll remind you where he got this advice, or at least he asserted he got the advice, after literally, not figuratively, this is not pejorative, putting out the red carpet to Putin. Putin apparently gave him this advice.
First of all, Trump has wanted to get rid of mail-in ballots and replace it with same-day paper ballots for years. So it's not like he just came up with the idea. Second, why would Vladimir Putin tell Trump to only allow paper ballots when Putin himself has all but scrapped paper ballots in their elections in favor of online balloting?
And my son said this. My 9-year-old, God is my witness, Dutch is sitting there watching the president and say, why does he keep saying he's a dictator? People that keep saying things like that actually might be a dictator.
I'll take things that never happened for 800.
Answer. Daily Double.
I'm sick and tired of Democrats being on the losing end in this country and our democracy being on the losing end. We have got to fight fire with fire.
Gavin Newsom can't even fight fire with water. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time, if there is a next time.